and welcome to another weekly video by the Travel Family Academy. My name is Mireille, and today we are going to be talking about what to look for on a travel stroller. If you don't know about us, we are on Instagram, and also we have a beautiful blog with tons of information. If you are traveling soon or know somebody who's traveling soon and have pending questions regarding any type of travel with little kids, particularly babies and toddlers, give us a read. We are travelfamilyacademy.com. You can also find us on Instagram at Travel Family Academy, and of course here on YouTube. If you have any questions or any topics that we have not covered yet, please make sure to let us know in the comments below, and we'll make sure to make a video to help you stay out there enjoying and traveling the world with your baby. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. A lot of people write to us about travel strollers. What's your favorite travel strollers? Which one should we pick? We're going here, we're going there. How do I know which ones are right for you? So I'm going to start by letting you know that there is no travel stroller that is better than another. So yes, there are travel strollers that are better than some other travel strollers, but that is very subjective to what it is that you're looking for in a travel stroller. And I know you're probably so sick of hearing this because there's so much in the baby and pregnancy world that doesn't seem to have a straight answer, that I know it can be so frustrating because I've been there. But with that being said, I will say that the most important thing to remember in anything motherhood, at least in my experience so far, is to use your own intuition and ask yourself the question of, what does my family actually need? And I know this may seem silly and super cliche and oh my gosh, yes, I've already asked myself, but think about it this way. Maybe I've only traveled to, let's say, Utah or Washington or some of those states that do a lot of hiking and outdoorsy things. And then I come here promoting this super outdoorsy travel stroller because it's good and it has good wheels, etc., etc. But maybe you are going to Bali on your first trip. And if you've ever seen a video of the streets in Bali or heard from anybody that's been to Bali, you're not going to be using any big bulky stroller in the streets of Bali. So then that really awesome hiking stroller that I was recommending is going to be completely obsolete for you in Bali, right? So when I tell you to think about what your family needs, I ask you to think about where it is that you're going. If you're mainly traveling nationally, let's say in the US, and you're going to places like Disney, California, the beaches in Florida, I don't know, Atlanta here and there, or big cities, obviously you're not going to need something that's either super rugged, or you're not going to be needing, a crazy compact stroller because you're just going to be traveling nationally. But if you're going to be going to, let's say, Europe, where most hotel rooms tend to be rather small, where the streets and the sidewalks are smaller as well, then you want to make sure you have something compact that's not going to be an eyesore or it's going to be taking up half your hotel room, right? So with that being said, here are the categories that I usually look for when it comes to, which stroller I'm taking traveling. And I am a travel blogger. I've been doing this for a while. I've been reviewing this for a while. So I have tested a lot of travel strollers because I work with brands. If I was a regular mom who didn't work with brands, obviously I wouldn't buy this many travel strollers. I would just pick one. But it's important to know what criteria you're going to be looking for so that you can actually be objective about it. And I wish somebody had told me all of this that I'm about to tell you when I was a brand new mom and didn't know which one was going to be my first stroller. Because my first stroller that I took for traveling was $120 travel system off of Amazon that was a stroller with a car seat. I figured I was going to go start a trip in Europe. I was not going to be needing the car seat much because we're going to take mostly public transportation, and I figured that I was not going to use the stroller a lot. And whereas I didn't need the stroller that much, the times that I did use it, it was absolutely horrendous trying to make it around small European towns and islands and cities with our stroller, which had wheels that were just too wide. It didn't fit through any of the airport machines anywhere in the US, in Europe, in Central America, nowhere. And the wheels got stuck. It was so crappy quality that I think it melted, the plastic melted on the wheels and it wouldn't come off. So the struggle we went through with that stroller that wouldn't close and wouldn't come apart, it was just awful. So to save you from this craziness, here's what I recommend you look into. First of all, the terrain. Where are you going mostly, and what terrain do you need for that? If you're going, let's say, to Colorado, but you're only going to be going on 1 or 2 hikes and your baby is 5 months old, you're probably better off wearing your baby on the hike and leaving the stroller behind. If the rest of your trips until your baby is 3 or 4 years old, you're not expecting anything crazy or anything super far, and you're going to be going to mainly cities or towns that have sidewalks, etc., you're better off having a stroller, keeping your regular stroller from home, or having a simple travel stroller that can actually be good for the city and carry a lot of your weight, right? So if you're going to be going somewhere where, let's say, you're going to Europe and there's a lot of cobblestone and you want to continue sightseeing because your baby is 8 months old and still taking 1 or 2 naps a day, then you want a stroller that is compact because in Europe space is very, very important. But you don't want a stroller that's like one of those umbrella strollers. It's my biggest pet peeve when people say, oh, just get an umbrella stroller. Would you like to sit on that thing, that thin Canva for 10 hours of sightseeing? So we realized this on our first trip to Paris with our 1-year-old, where we would spend literally 12 hours just out there going around the city. You can just change your baby in a restaurant bathroom or on the stroller. She could take a nap. We could eat on the go. We can stop at cafes and spend a beautiful day. And in Europe in the summer, the sun doesn't set until like 11 at night. So you have all day where you could be outside. But had we brought one of those umbrella strollers that some people had recommended to me, I would have had to purchase a stroller on the first day because my daughter was not going to sit on that for 10 hours, right? So think about that. Think about the comfort of your child, because sometimes I hear people say like, oh, my baby never sleeps in the stroller. And my first question is, well, does your stroller fully recline? And then they're like, oh no. So here's the next one. If you're traveling with a baby that is finicky about sleep, or a baby that's very used to a certain routine, try to keep that routine. If your baby normally sleeps on a flat surface, on a bed, and only on a bed, then you want a stroller that reclines fully. Same thing if you're going somewhere that's really sunny. Let's say you're going to Mexico or Cancun. Any time of the year, it's going to be too hot and too sunny. So you want to make sure that that shade goes all the way down. A lot of strollers are very cute and have this little, like, you know, half bulb situation with the shade. It's very cute, but it does not cover your child's face. Especially if you have a little bit of a taller child, you want it to go all the way down so there's no sun coming from underneath, right? If you have a tray table as well, if your stroller has a tray table, likely the sun rays are going to reflect off the table. So you want to make sure the shade goes all the way down to keep them, you know, dark when they're trying to sleep, if that's something that your child is extra sensitive to. Another thing to think about is the footrest. So a lot of strollers don't have any mechanism where you can adjust the footrest. And if you have, let's say, a younger child that their legs don't go all the way down, being able to prop up the footrest area is going to make it more like a bed, like a flat bed area, and it's going to give you extra room for them to lay flat on. Something to think about. The next thing is, how much can you carry on the stroller? So we are big packers. I carry way too many things and way too much food all the time. I just don't want to be left without something or needing something and then having to run around trying to find it. So for me, the basket of a stroller is almost, I think it's the second most important thing for us, right? So my family likes to carry things, and I don't want to carry a backpack or a diaper bag or even a purse on me. I like my hands free. So for us, we want a travel stroller that is compact and that is small and not very heavy, but I don't want it to have a storage box that can only fit two things, right? I want a little bit more room where I can fit at least a bag and something else. Another aspect to think about when you're looking for strollers is, how easy does it maneuver? So recently we stayed at a hotel where they provided strollers for us, and one night we had left our stroller in the car, and somebody offered us to just bring us a stroller. I said yes. Oh my god, this stroller, it was like, to move it, you had to like almost lift it and change positions. You want a stroller that has good maneuverability, especially if you're going to a new destination where you may be crossing roads you've never seen, going to places you've never been to before, animals crossing, I don't know. Just, you want to make sure you can move your stroller from terrain to terrain. You want to be able to, like, you can, you know, go from the sidewalk to the street without being afraid the thing is going to come apart or your child's going to be like startled awake from how rough the wheels are, right? And then the other thing to think about is, how good is the quality of your wheels for where you're headed. Again, if you're going to be all day on your stroller walking around, sightseeing on different terrains, on cobblestone, you don't want one of those little plastic wheels where your child is going to feel every single movement. That is rough. Do not do that to your kid. Another thing that a lot of people look for me, wasn't super important, was a peekaboo window. So if you're walking around and strolling around, some strollers have the option of facing you, right, changing the position, but those are normally the bigger ones. So for travel strollers, try to get one that has a peekaboo window, which almost all of them have them nowadays, but it's still important to mention because, again, you know, if you're a brand new parent, you want to know how your baby's doing, and having to like just come around all the time. At least for us, our child, if she would see us, she would just wake up right away. So having the peekaboo window allowed me to like have that there. And last but not least, the caddy. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many great strollers I have seen where it doesn't have a caddy for holding drinks and things, and it's a no-go. It's a no-go because I love wearing pants that have pockets. I will have my leggings and my workout gear have pockets, but having to be out and about and not having a place to put a drink or your phone or something, if something happens to your baby, you have to run and then you have to figure out where to put things. I got stressed just mentioning that. So those are the criteria that I normally think about. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything crazy. Oh, one more thing. The buckle mechanism. This is huge. It's actually a bigger deal for my husband than it is for me. I think it's because I do more of the buckling and unbuckling, but make sure you're comfortable with the buckling mechanism in your stroller before you take it on vacation. And this is super important because the last thing you want is for an emergency to happen. Hopefully not, but if it does, and you're just like struggling with it. I love the strollers that have the magnetic mechanism for buckling and unbuckling because it's so easy, and I really like the ones that have 4 parts. So it's a little bit more complex to put on, but if you have 4 pieces and one of them gets stuck, you can still get the kid out. But if you have the ones that are just 2 pieces and it's not moving anywhere, that is the absolute worst. Remember, recline, shade, maneuverability, quality of the wheels, and you know, the last one that I will mention that everybody worries about but hasn't been a big a deal for us is the heaviness of it. A lot of people look for a lightweight stroller so that they can put it in the overhead compartment of the plane and easily take it with them. And whereas I agree, but it's very nice. I have a stroller that's about 10 pounds and super light and it's lovely. I would sometimes rather leave a stroller at the door of the plane than carry that thing in the plane with me if I'm also carrying my child and a carry-on and a diaper bag or a food bag, right? So think about how many things you're going to be taking with you and who's traveling with you. If I'm traveling with my husband, fantastic, he can carry some stuff, I can carry some stuff. But if you're traveling alone, this matters. So I hope all these questions and all these scenarios help you sort of plan and come up with what stroller is good for you. Let us know in the comments which one's your favorite travel stroller and which one you'd like us to review next. And if this is of interest to you, we'll go ahead and start making videos reviewing all the many travel strollers we have tried over the years. And hopefully that'll help you make your decision a little bit faster. Thank you for staying tuned and watching our videos. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like our content so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video next week. See you then!